In an era of state-sanctioned brutality and injustice, Desmond Tutu's voice rose above the fray.
To counter violence, the violence of apartheid, the violence of forced population removals, we know we shall overcome evil.
Tutu began his career as a high school English and history teacher, but devastated by the racial violence and segregation his country's laws allowed, he decided to enter the Anglican Church. In 1975, he became Dean of St Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg, a promotion that made headlines.
I am not defying the government. I am obeying God.
As Nelson Mandela languished behind bars, Tutu was the voice of the South African oppressed, his rising position in the church protecting him from retribution.
Apartheid is as evil, as immoral, as unchristian in my view as Nazism.
In 1984, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his role fighting apartheid.
New hope has sprung in the breast of many as a result of this prize. The millions who are voiceless, oppressed, dispossessed.
10 years later, with apartheid policy officially ended, it was Tutu who introduced the freed and newly elected Nelson Mandela as the country's president.
Welcome, our brand new state president, out of the box, Nelson Mandela!
Tutu would call that moment, with the exception of the birth of his first child, the greatest of his life.
I actually said to God, God, I don't mind if I die now.
But Tutu endured as a global icon, not just due to his work, but his personality, marrying his defiant fight for justice with a playful and infectious joy.
The cameras are on us. Try to behave like a holy man.
Despite his charm, Tutu never lost the ferocity, speaking out against Israel's treatment of Palestinians and calling for George W. Bush and Tony Blair to answer for their roles in the Iraq War. Among the many tributes from around the world, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa called him a patriot without equal, while Barack Obama described him as a moral compass and universal spirit.
It's actually very sad, not only for South Africa, but for Africa as a continent.
Desmond Tutu died in Cape Town at age 90.
He loved. He laughed. He cried. He was forgiven. He forgave.
Well, Dr. Mampela Ramphele is a long-time friend of the Archbishop and acting chairperson of the Desmond Tutu Trust. She joins us now from South Africa. Doctor, what is the atmosphere like there right now?
The atmosphere is one of sadness because the passing of any human being is a sad moment. But there is also a huge outpouring of tributes and celebration of a life well lived, an exemplary life, and a life that was dedicated to serving God and to do so through serving the least amongst us, and always to be truthful, always to be courageous in speaking truth to power here and elsewhere in the world. And so the mood in the country is one of also of gratitude that we were granted this great leader to be one of us.
For someone who was so committed to fighting injustice, he always had such a beautiful smile on his face. He seemed like such a delightful person. What was he like to be around?
Great fun. And he knew that he's got this wicked sense of humor, and he deployed that sense of humor very strategically. When things were tense, he will come in and say, gosh, what's happened here? Has somebody just thrown a bomb here? Or why are you looking so glum? You know, come on, look at how bright the sun is and so on. Or he'll say, look at me, this kind of scrolly, croggy kind of person. I can do a dance or two, and you are sitting there and looking all so glum. Always a person with the right thing to say at the right time.
Dr. Mampela, I would go one further than Susie and suggest that maybe he actually enjoyed being naughty. You always got the impression that he loved being naughty, he loved being cheeky. Is that how you knew him?
Absolutely, absolutely. And he would pull anybody's leg when he has a chance and love it because he didn't take himself seriously and he laughed at himself and just thought that people should be intelligent enough, wise enough to not take themselves too seriously. But at the same time, he believed in human dignity. So he'll never humiliate anybody. In his naughtiness, it was all done in good cheer.
I would remind my comedian friends on the desk of that lesson in life. Dr. Rampele, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight and our thoughts with you and everyone there.
Thank you so much.
I mean, he seemed like such a remarkable man. My mother used to always say that you know how loved someone is by the number of people who go to their funeral. And I think you can just tell by the number of tributes, the hundreds and thousands of tributes from all over the world, from people of, you know, all colour and creed for this man, that he was really remarkable.
Absolutely. That beautiful smile and his energy was so infectious, and also that he always wore the coolest glasses.
Yeah, he did. I'm convinced he had bad days, though. I'm convinced.